बराबर झाले आपले. Wait.
Kshitish sir. Kshitish sir. Hello. Kshitish sir.
Hello.
Yes, yes. I made you presenter.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
So we
Okay,
can
so
start
can we
with
start?
this.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Your voice is somewhat low.
Okay, just wait a second.
Yes.
Hello. Am I clear now?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start the session.
Okay. You are presenter.
Yes.
If any issue, just I'm sending my number to you, sir. Just call me over there.
Okay, sure.
I sent you my number in chat box.
Okay. Okay, so my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so very good afternoon. I'll be starting this session now. So our topic is of launching this server 2016 and the Linux instance. And we are going to configure the Apache Web Server on both the machines, on Windows also, and as well as the Linux instance. So our today's content will be like this: launching the Windows Server 2016, connecting with Windows instance. Then what is the web server? We'll know about the Apache Web Server configuration, and then we'll know about the Linux and its distributions and how to configure the Apache Web Server on Linux. Okay. So let me start with the launching Windows Server. So first of all, we'll go to the AWS console. And we'll select here the EC2 service. Okay. So we'll just do this launch instances, and here we can search about the Windows instance. First of all, let me write the name of the Windows like this. Now we can search for more AMIs here. Search for the Windows here. And we'll be needing the Windows Server 2016 for this. Hello? Hello? Any issue there? Okay, we'll be selecting this Windows Server 2016 base machine, and we'll select this.
कर ले लिए तो कॉलेज को फिर वापस रिटर्न पड़ेंगे.
Hello, sir. Please mute your.
मैडम को टच कर दीजिएगा कि मैडम ये क्रेडिट कार्ड आए हैं. मैंने सीओ से बात होगी, मैडम को कॉल किया. यहाँ पे सबको सोल्यूशन लगता है, यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन किसी को नहीं चाहिए. जैसे आप मुझे कॉल करेंगे, आपने मेरे को उस दिन फोन किया, सर डेटा डाल दो. मैंने क्या बोला, मैडम कहाँ डालना है डेटा, सोल्यूशन चाहिए, किसी को क्वेश्चन नहीं चाहिए. हाँ, हमको पता है कि हमको ये चीज पता है कि आप सोल्यूशन निकाल सकते हो, इसलिए हम कभी आपसे एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे नहीं कि आप क्वेश्चन करोगे.
Hello, Chetan, sir. Please mute. Okay. So we'll have to just create a new key pair here so that we can connect to our Windows instance afterwards. So I'm going to write this name as Win1. I'll make it with .pem extension and create the instance. Okay, so win1.pem file will be downloaded here, and I will just launch the instance like this. Okay, we'll go to the instance list. So here is our instance is going to create. And when it's going to be the 2x2 check, we'll start the machine. Okay, so this is our first step, that we are launching the Windows Server 2016, and then afterwards we're going to create the Apache Web Server on it. So we'll wait for it. So our instance is running. So if you want to connect with the Windows instance, we have to do the RDP client configuration. First of all, we'll just go to the actions, go to the security, and go to the get Windows password. So here it's saying, please wait for 4 minutes after launching an instance before trying to the retrieve or auto-generate password. We have to generate the password here with our win1.pem file. So I'll just go to my downloads and just copy my win1 file. Okay. So I've copied my win1.pem file in this location, desktop session keys. We'll just wait for it. Okay. So now the portal is ready. We just have to upload our private key file here. So just click on it. Bring to the folder, this file, and win1.pem will open this file. And just click on decrypt password. Okay, so this will be our password. We have to copy it and just make a new notepad here and pasting here. Okay, so now we'll go back to our instances and click on the Windows instance, and we'll go to the connect option and go to the RDP client. And we'll just download the remote desktop file here so that we can connect to our Windows instance. Okay, I'm going to open it. We'll connect it. So here it is going to ask for a password. We'll just paste it here. Yes. So this is how we connect our Windows instance. Let's wait for 2 minutes. We'll launch the second. Okay. In the meantime, we'll just go to our next slide. Is that this is how we connect the Windows instance, and the next slide is about what is a web server. Okay. So web server, as you can see here, a web server is used to serve web pages requested by the client computers. Clients typically request and view web pages using web browser applications such as Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and many more. Okay, so web server is basically a computer or a server which hosts the website. Okay, and here we are using, and there are multiple softwares available in the market, and here we are using the Apache Web Server software. So its full name is httpd Apache 2 Web Server. Apache is the most commonly used web server software on Linux systems. Okay, mainly it was built for Linux systems, so but we can also use it in Windows as a third-party client. Okay, so as our Windows instance will start. Okay, so it's starting. So first of all, we'll need the Chrome browser because here it is an Internet Explorer. It is very slow. So I'm going to install the Chrome here. Okay. This step is not necessary, as if you have a well-suited browser for it. But here I want Chrome. So I'm going to the PowerShell and I have some script of installing the Chrome, which is here. Okay, I'm just going to copy this. Again, this step is not necessary for the Apache Web Server. This is just to install Chrome on your Linux Windows instance. So this script will install the Chrome. You can see here there is no Chrome in my instance. Okay, so our next slide will be about configuring the Apache Web Server on 2016 Windows Server. So first of all, we'll be needing Apache setup and the configuration files. So we are going to download it as soon as our Chrome will be installed. So here it is. Our Google Chrome is installed on our Windows instance. We'll just start it. So here we'll be searching for Apache. Let's go to the first slide. And here we can go to the download section. So here you can see Apache httpd for Microsoft Windows is available for a number of third-party vendors because it is not officially for Windows. It was first designed for the Linux systems. Okay, we'll look about the systems of Linux. So we'll just go to this. And you can select anything on this. I'm going to select this Apache Launch. I'm going to download this zip file, httpd 2.457 win64 zip. Okay, so it is going to download. Okay, so these are the steps to configure or extract the Apache setup because it is a zip file, not an exe file. So first of all, we have to download the Apache zip. The second step is extracting the zip file. And the third step is moving Apache folder to your C drive. So the third step will be like this. As soon as it's downloaded, okay, we'll go to the downloads. So here is the downloads. We'll extract this file here. So it is extracting. Let me close this Chrome. We'll be needing Chrome again, but it's not necessary. So our file is extracted. We just go to the folder inside it, and we have to copy or cut this Apache 24 folder. Okay, and we have to paste it in our C drive. So we'll just go to this PC. I have copied it. Going here and pasting the Apache 24 server. Okay, so it's done successfully. So these are the 3 steps that we have to just download and set up for the Apache. The next step is to edit the configuration files, because Apache Web Server runs on several ports, and also we have to just modify some settings in its configuration file, so that it can run in a convenient way. So we'll just do this, uncomment all the given parameters and set them as follows in the configuration file. So let me show you where is the configuration file of Apache server. Okay, so Apache server is not installed yet. We are just going to install it. So first of all, go to the Apache 24 folder. We are going to this conf folder, and then here is the httpd.conf file. So this is the Apache's configuration file. We just have to open it with Notepad or any other editor you have. We're going to put Notepad here. Okay. So now our first parameter is this listen 80. Okay, so we can just search for it, or it's given already here. Here, if you can see. So listen 80 is already enabled. So our next parameter, we'll go to the next parameter. The next parameter is load module rewrite modules / mod rewrite. Okay, so we'll just search for the load module rewrite, because there are many more things other than that. So we are going to find it. Load module rewrite. Okay, so we have found it. Let's cancel it, and we have to uncomment it. Means the hashtag is for comment, and if we remove the hashtag, it will get uncommented and the configuration file will be set up. Okay, so we just have to uncomment it and not doing anything else. We'll go to our next parameter. The next parameter is server name, and we are going to set it with to localhost :80. 80 is the default port for HTTP service. Okay, so there are 2 types of services, HTTP and HTTPS, that the website is hosted on. So we are using HTTP port, which is 80. So we are going to configure it on our localhost port IP address. Okay, so search for your server name. It's already given here, like this. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this and pasting it here. So server name here is www.example.com. We'll just make it as localhost :80 without hash. Okay, we have to uncomment this. So now our last parameter is allow override. Okay, we'll search for it, or also it is given here only. Not this allow override. Okay, there is another allow override under this HD access files. Okay, this one, allow override none. So we'll just have to set it to all. Okay, and then this is our HTTP configuration file. We just have to uncomment and set those parameters, those 4 parameters only, and I have just saved the file. Okay, and then so this is the configuration file, and right now we are good to go for the Apache installation. Okay, so the first step is to go to Apache 24/bin folder, and then we are going to run the command prompt as administrator, and then doing this command. Okay, to install. So let me go. Okay, So we are going for the Apache 24/bin folder. Okay, so this is the bin folder. We're going inside it. So we just have to copy this path from here. I'm going to copy it, and just search for CMD in your search box. Just right click it and do the run as administrator. Okay, like this. Okay. So now the first command is cd c/apache/24. Okay, so this is the file folder path that we have copied. So cd is the command for changing the directory to that, as because we are now in C drive users administrator. Okay, so we'll just do this cd, paste the file, and then next thing is that our file path is this. Okay, so our next step is like this: httpd.exe-t, which is used to check the syntax of our configuration file. And the next is to install our Apache Web Server, and the last step is to start our service. Okay, so httpd.exe is a file which I can show you here. This file. Okay, so we are going to install it by using the command prompt. Let me just increase the font. Okay. So now next thing is doing httpd.exe-t to check the syntax of the configuration file. Okay, so it will just do this some checks. Okay. So if it gives in output the syntax okay, then our configuration file is good to go. And now we'll just install the Apache Web Server -k and then install. Okay, so the message is the Apache 2.4 service is successfully installed, and then we just now have to start the service. Just do this start. We can start and stop the service or restart the service in our service manager also, which is here, services.msc. But if you know about this step, then it is very good. Okay, so let me close this window. So now our Apache Web Service fully configured and installed. Let us check if it is running or not. To check the Apache Web Server is running properly, we just have to go to our browser. I'm going to start Google Chrome here and just type over here localhost. And enter. It works. Okay, so by default, the page is set for it works. If we want to just update this, or we have to just configure our website, we can just go to our this PC where the Apache is installed. Okay. We'll go to the C drive. Go to the Apache 24 folder. And all of our index file or our work, what we have to do, okay, or our demo web pages, we have to just save it in htdocs folder. So here it's already configured an index file. We'll just open it with Notepad and edit the file. Okay, it is just a simple HTML script. To connect again. Going to open again it with Notepad. So if you can see here, here it is a simple HTML file. Let me just make it like this for better understanding. Okay, so here is a heading tag. Here we can edit anything like this. Hello, this is Apache. We'll just have to save this file and just reload here. So it will say this. Okay, if we want to just configure a demo website from another for already created template, we have to just insert those files or folders in our htdocs folder. Okay, let me show you how to do that. So first of all, we'll just search for a demo website or the basic HTML websites on internet or on GitHub. So basic HTML website on GitHub. Okay, so this, go to the first thing. So we can take anything, but I'm going to take this basic website using HTML. Or we can also take another. Okay, so just go to the code panel. We'll download it with in a zip format. So here it is to get it download. We'll go to our download page. Okay, so we are going to extract this here, basic website using HTML. So this is our folder. We are going to go inside it. We'll copy everything from here and we are going to paste it under the htdocs folder. Okay, so where's the htdocs folder? In the C drive, Apache 24. Go to this htdocs and just delete everything from here and inside the htdocs. Okay, and we are going to paste those files and folders here. Okay, you can see here that there is also an index.html file here. Okay, so now we'll just go to our local host and reload the page. So it will do this. Okay, this is just a demo website someone has made on GitHub. So this is how you can configure a Apache Web Server to host your website on your Windows instance. And this is a Server 2016 Windows. Okay. Okay, so this is our first part. We have installed Apache Web Server on the Windows systems, Windows instance. And as because the Apache Web Server is not made for Windows, means officially, we have to download it for third-party vendors. Okay, so I have installed the Apache Lounge. You can also make it with XAMPP or WAMP servers. You know about it. Okay, so let me go through with some web server things. Okay, so here in Apache Web Server, we also have to configure the firewall, and in Windows it is already configured, so we didn't have to do that. But in Linux we have to configure it. It is the mandatory process, and we are just going to install and use or reconfigure the Apache Web Server on our Linux machine. Okay, so first of all, we'll just start with the Linux. What is Linux and what are distribution, and on what distribution we are going to install the Apache Web Server. So first of all, let me just terminate this instance. Okay. First of all, I'm going to just shut down. Well, this process is not necessary, but we'll just do this. Okay, so just terminate this instance. Okay. So now, first of all, we'll go through about what is Linux. So when we say that we are using Linux, or we are using Linux operating system, or we are using Linux servers or machine or anything about Linux, so we have this question to answer, like what is an operating system, how many operating systems do you know, or is Linux really an operating system? So basically, if you know about operating system, okay, so the basic definition of an operating system is this, that it is a software that manages computer hardware and software resources and provides common services for computer programs. If you know, an operating system can be just an interface between user and a hardware, because we users do not have permission to directly use the hardware. We have to go through with an intermediate or a mediator. So that mediator is an operating system. Okay, that manages all the hardware process systems and everything. Okay, so first of all, the first step is what is an operating system. We just have to answer it, and the next question is how many operating systems do you know? Okay, so if we are going to list the operating system, then we know about Windows, that there is Mac, iOS, and also there is Android operating systems. Also, if some many more are saying that Linux is also an operating system. But if Linux is an operating system, then what is Ubuntu? What is Kali Linux? And what is Red Hat? They are also operating systems. So what are the difference between the Linux operating system and Ubuntu operating system? Are they both different, or they are just equal? Okay. So the next thing is Linux is an operating system. So no, Linux is not an operating system. It is a kernel basically. Okay, so this part arises a question that what is kernel basically. So a kernel is a computer program that at the core of the computer's operating system, and generally has complete control over over everything in the operating system. Okay, so you can just see in the diagram that kernel is just a part of an operating system, but it is the major part because it manages all the system processes and the computer programs. Okay, so so then what is the Linux? Linux is not an operating system, it is a kernel, and a Linux kernel means an operating system which have Linux kernel. To them, we can call that Linux based operating system or Linux kernel based operating system. So Linux is basically a kernel, and Ubuntu is a Linux kernel based operating system. Okay, like this. If we have to just separate it with this, so we can say that in the leftmost corner there is a user, and in the rightmost corner there are hardwares, and between the hardware there is a mediator and interface, that is operating system, and inside the operating system there is a kernel. Okay, so Linux is basically represented by a penguin logo. Okay, its name is Tux. So this is the basic level of architecture of an operating system or a user and hardware mediator. Okay. So kernel's functionality is just this. Like if we want to make a fully functioning operating system, we have to modify our kernel. Kernel is the basic component of an operating system, and by adding some security, some more applications, and some more GUI interfaces, we can make a fully functional operating system like this here. Okay, so Ubuntu is an operating system, Linux is Red Hat is an operating system, CentOS is an operating system, Kali Linux is an operating system, but Linux basically is a kernel, okay, which resides inside all of the operating system. Okay, and in Windows there is no Linux kernel. There is a kernel, some microkernel is used in Windows. Okay, so next step is to just identify the different Linux operating system. Okay, Linux distribution are nothing but the operating system which are having the Linux kernel. So we have like this Arch Linux, OpenSUSE, or Red Hat, Kali Linux, Ubuntu. So these are the distributions of Linux operating system. Okay, so we'll just go to the launching Linux instance, how to launch it, and then we'll configure the Apache Web Server in Linux. Okay, so first of all, we are going to launch a Red Hat instance because it is very easy to install Apache Web Server on it. Okay, so we'll just go to launch instances. Okay, here we can write the name of it like this Red Hat, and we can also search here, but it is also created here, mentioned here, so we can just click on it. And as usual, we are going to create a new key pair. This name Red Hat. Create new pair. Okay, so the new key pair is downloaded. We'll just launch the instance. Windows is terminated. Linux is going to create. So it is running. The public key is visible, also the private key also, and there are many more details about it. But we only need this public. Okay. So also, if we want to connect with our Linux instance from Windows machine, we have to download a third software called Putty. We can just go here, Putty download. Go to the first slide and download Putty. I've already downloaded and installed the Putty application. Okay, so I'll just go there. So first of all, let me just copy the file, Red Hat file, to this session keys. Okay, so it is very easy to manage here. So our instance is running. Let's reload it one more time. Okay. So as soon as the 2x2 check is cleared, the machine is going to ready. So we are going to just Putty gen software. This software is used to generate our private key because AWS defaultly goes with the .pem file and we have to convert it with .ppk file. Okay, so we'll just load here. First of all, just check that the type of key to generate here is selected on RSA, and we'll load our key here, redhat.pem. We'll go to the keys and go to this all files and select this redhat.pem. Okay, so now open it. Okay, and now save private key. Okay, so yes, and I am going to save it as red1.ppk. Okay, so just save it here and just cancel this putij. So now you can see red1.ppk file here. We are going to use this file to connect with our Linux instance. So first of all, I'm going to copy this public key, public IP address and just go to the putty. Paste the public key here and we'll just go to this SSH tab on credentials and we'll just load our ppk file here. Okay, so browse, go to sessions, keys and red one, open it and then open. Okay, accept. So here we have to log in with our EC2 user. So I'm going to do this EC2-user, then enter. Will automatically log in into this. Let me just settings. Okay, so we are now inside our Linux machine. So this, if you want to know about this portal, go to this notepad. Okay, so let me tell you what is this. So this is basically a normal Linux shell, and the first thing that is written here is the username. The next thing is here is our host name, and this is a tilde sign which represents the home directory, and this is the dollar sign which represents the local user. So this goes like this: that username is written here, and the host name is written here like this after the @ and then here it is written the say our current directory. Okay. In Linux, directory means the folder name, nothing else. And the last thing is the dollar sign. Dollar sign represents the local user. There are concepts of local user and root users also. So basically represents user. Okay, so this is just a basic definition, basic syntax of a shell. And here we have to write the commands after this dollar sign. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you about the users in Linux. So there are two types of users in Linux. First is root user, and second are local user. Okay, basically root is only one, and we can create local user as many as we can. Okay, so there are no limits about creating the users. And the second thing, that root is created basically created by kernel. It is present after we have installed the Linux machine. Okay, and the local user is created by root user. Okay, and if we want, root user is represented by hashtag sign, and the local user is represented by dollars. Okay, you can say this that like in Windows, there are admin users and also some local normal users. So root is a local user in Linux, admin user in Linux machine, and local is a normal user in Linux. Okay, so now here is a dollar sign, and our local username is EC2-user. We'll just switch our shell to the root user shell. Okay, in Linux, every user have their own shell. So to switch between the shells, again, to switch from local user to root user, okay, we are going to, I'm writing here only dollar, we don't have to write dollar in command. Okay, we are going to write this command sudo -i. Okay, so it will get switched to root user, means the sign which is going to display here is hashtag. Okay, so we'll do this. I'm writing here sudo -i, enter. So see, okay, the dollar sign is changed from dollar to hashtag, and here the username is also changed from EC2 user to root. Okay, so this is our root shell. Let's copy and show it here. Root shell is looking like this. Same thing, that this is a user's name, @ it is a host name, and tilde represents the home directory, and hashtag is root user. Okay, here tilde is the home directory, means basically if we are using this tilde sign here, it represents home directory of a user, means a user is having their own environment in which he can perform some actions. But basically this space represents the current directory. Okay, so right now we are in our home directory, so the sign is tilde. Okay, so next thing, we'll just go through some commands that are necessary to learn about Linux, and then we'll configure the Apache Web servers using that command also. Okay, so first of all, we have learned about this command sudo -i. That sudo -i is used to switch between local to root user. The next command is ls, which is used to list the contents inside our home directory. So here is nothing inside our home directory. That means this. Okay, so we'll just create it. So if you want to create a folder, we just have to mkdir and then folder's name. Okay, so I'm going to write here dir1, enter, and then do this ls again. So here an empty directory is created. Okay, so mkdir is a command to make the directory, and ls is the command to show the contents in our directory, in our current directory. Okay, if you want to know about our location, that what is our location in the Linux file system, so we can also do this pwd. Pwd means present working directory. It shows the /root. Okay, let me tell you again about this. In Linux, files are files or folders. Folders means directories. Okay, so if I'm going to say directory, then it means only folder. So files and folders are arranged in a form of upside down tree. Okay, so what it means that there is a slash folder, and inside that slash folder there are many folders. Okay, like this. This is slash, and we can also see like this, that root is here, also etc is here inside the slash. Okay, bin is here, home is here. Okay, then inside and right now I am in /root folder, means after the slash there is a root folder, and inside the root folder I have made a directory dir1. Okay, so files and folders are arranged in the form of an upside down tree. What it means is that upside down tree is what? Roots. The roots can be at the top level, and the branches, which we can see here, branches are in the down level. Okay, so this is a basic Linux file system structure, that it starts with slash, and after the slash we can do this. Okay, if I want to just go to dir1 folder, I just have to do /root/dir1. Okay, so this is the folder path that we can do. If inside the dir1 we are making some other directives like A or B, we just have to do this. Okay. So same structure we are going to use here. If we want to list what inside the l/ folder, so we can do this ls/. So here you can see that bin folder is here, etc folder is here, home folder is here, also the root folder is here. Okay, the root folder, what we have just done here is pwd, present working directory. Okay, so our next command is vi. So vi is just an editor. If you can just go to the vi.file.txt. Okay, so it will create a file, or also we can just write here anything what we want. And if you want to save the file, we just have to do escape::wq to save the file. Okay, so now let me do the ls. So now here is a file.txt. If you want to list out the contents of file.txt, we'll just do the cat command, cat, and then file.txt. Okay, and enter. So we can see the content inside the file. There are many more options to list the content about the file. We can also do some things like this, file.txt we can. Okay, if you want to write this, save it, and then cat file.txt. Okay. Our next command is to start the service and also configuring the firewall. So we'll just do so we are going to configure the Apache Web Server in Linux systems. So our first step is to check the IP address. We are going to configure it on our public IP address, and then we'll just connect it with our Windows machine. Okay. So first of all, we have to go, do this commands with our root user. So the first command is we are using IP space s. Okay. So if you want to copy the IP address, then we can just copy from here, but we want the public IP address, so we'll copy it from here. Okay, again, this step is not compulsory, but we just want our IP address to be displayed. Okay, so our next step is to add name to your IP address. Okay, so we'll just go to the /etc and /host file, and here we'll paste our IP address. Wait one more time. Okay, and then we'll just name it like this, mysite.com or anything. Okay, do this example.com. Okay, we'll just save the file, and the next step is to check for package. Okay, like in Windows, we have downloaded the Apache Web Server zip file. Here, just we have to write the command. So the command is yum install httpd. So it will be configured. Okay, so now it is asking for that. Is this okay to install? So we'll just say yes. So now httpd package is already installed successfully. We'll check it by doing this. Okay. So here is the name of the package, the version, the release, architecture is 64-bit. Okay, and the install date is this. Okay, so this is the full description of our package that we installed now. So 3 steps are covered. The next step is to start and enable the service, because we are going to what we have done in Windows time, httpd -exe -k install. By that, we have installed the package on our Windows system. Here, just we have to start the service. Systemctl start. Service name is httpd. Okay. Again, to permanently start the service, we'll do this. Enable. Let me tell you about some more about this. That in Linux, you can say software is equals to package. Okay. So here for Apache, okay, package name is httpd. Okay, and the service name is httpd2. Okay, next we are going to add this service in our firewall. So in firewall, our service name will be http, and also we have to add the port number which we have done on our Windows system too, that is 80. Okay, so these are the things that we have to manage. And for the package thing, means we just give this number. Okay, so command for our first step was yum install httpd. Okay, and for second thing, to start and enable the service, we have used this command, systemctl start httpd. And for third, we have to do this firewall cmd command. Okay, but the firewall cmd command is not pre-installed on our Linux system, so we have to download it. So if you want to download the firewall cmd command, we just have to install it like this. You have installed firewall. Okay, this is same like this, but we are not going to install the in this time httpd because it is already installed. Okay, so now we have just started enable the services. We'll configure the firewall. So if we just do this firewall cmd -- permanent -- add service and http. Okay, so this is how you add the service, but we don't have the package firewall cmd. Let me show you how. So here it is giving an error, firewall cmd command not found. Okay, so we have to download this firewall cmd. So we'll just do this. Install firewall d. Okay, so we'll just say yes. Okay, so it is installed successfully. Again, if we run this command, it will show this error. Firewall D is not running. Means the service of firewall D is not running. So we know about the service, that how to start a service. We'll just do this. Systemctl start firewall D. Okay, and then enable it to. Okay, now we'll just run this. So it's success. Okay, so again, we just have to add the port. Add port equals to 80. Okay, so okay, we also have to write the protocol here, that TCP. And if you want to check that our port or our service is added, so we'll just do this list all. Okay. So here you can see in service there are only these services, and in ports there are no ports available. But we have added here, and it gave the output of success. Okay, So after adding each service or each port in a firewall, we have to reload it. It is a mandatory process. Okay, so we have to reload it like this, and then now we'll do this again, list all, and now you can see the HTTP service here and the port here. Okay, so after adding any service or port in a firewall, we have to reload the file. Okay, so the next step is that we have to create an index file. Our sixth step is creating the index file. That is, we have to create the index file in /var www HTML folder. So we'll just go to there. You want to go to /var /www /HTML folder. We'll just do ls. So there are no files here present. So also we'll be install. We'll go like this, index.html. Okay, vi is an editor. We'll write here, this is Linux. Okay, so this is a basic HTML tag. We'll just save this file. Okay, and the last step is to restart the service. HTTP. Okay. So if our website is running or not, we'll just go. We just have to do. Okay. So we'll be just checking our website like this. We can do localhost, curl localhost. If it gives our index file here, so means it is running. But how we can do this here? Okay, because it is a web server and we are hosting a website. Then if we copy this IP address over here on our browser, so it should show our website here also, but it is not showing. Okay, so this is the last process of doing it, because we have to just configure our security groups to allow all traffic to reach to our browser. Okay, so the last step is just go to the security tab, go to our security groups. Okay, and we'll just edit the inbound rules here. Add rules. Go to all traffic, and here select this one. Also, well, it is not necessary, but we'll do this also to allow HTTP also. Okay, now we're going to save rules. Just reload this to see. So this is our Apache Web Server configuration on Linux system. Okay. If you want, we can also add that website on our system. Like we just have to search about the basic HTML website on GitHub. Okay, we'll search it. Let me take another one. Stop this. Okay. Pretty interesting case. Okay, we can do this. Just go to the code, download zip. This is the basic website. Okay. We have downloaded this website on our Windows, but we have to install it on our Linux. So we'll just copy this link and go to our putty. Okay. So here is this already file. So I'll just delete it. Okay, and now we'll just go to this git clone, paste the website. Okay, so it is saying git command is not found, so we'll just install the git command. Git clone. We'll copy this link and paste it here, and then enter. Okay, ls. So now here is this folder. We'll just go inside this folder. Okay, I'm just moving all the data from this folder to our current directory. So move operating systems, everything to my current directory. Okay, so if we do this ls here, then there will be this files. There is also an index file. If you want to check the index file, we can do this. Okay, so we'll just restart our service. System ctl restart httpd. Okay, and then go again to our website. Here we'll reload it. So this is the website, history of computer operating systems, first generation PC, second generation, third, fourth, access, and all. Okay, so this is the already created website which is on GitHub. The source code is available, and we have just cloned it from there. Okay, in Linux. Okay. Also, if you want to save this website, because you can see there are in every website there is a domain name, so you have to just, you want to set up the domain name locally in our Windows machine, you just have to start the notepad and run it as administrator. We'll open a file. Go to the C drive. System 32. Go to drivers. Go to etc, and then go to this all files and then host file. Open with notepad. Okay, so this is the file where you can write your IP address name. Just copy this. Write the IP address and that's domain name there. Okay, I'll write like this. Okay, we'll save this and just copy. This is Linux session. Paste it on another tab. Let's see. Here is a domain name. This is Linux session that we are configured with, and the website is ours. If you want to, remove the Apache Web Server from our system, we can also do this. The steps we have done so far, we just have to reverse it back. Okay. So first of all, we have to end the service. We'll just stop it. Systemctl stop. httpd. Enter. We'll remove everything from firewall. Remove service and then remove port 80/TCP. Okay. And now we'll just see that if the port and services successfully removed. Okay. So now here is no service and ports. So it is removed properly. Okay. So the next step is I'm just going to my home drive. The next step is to remove httpd all files. Okay. First of all, I'll just clear /var/www/html/ everything under it, and then remove httpd package. Okay, so first of all, we'll check for it in QA. So httpd package is here, and now we'll just go here. Remove httpd. So it is saying that freed space. Is this okay? Then we'll say yes. Okay, now again we'll just check for the package. So it is not giving anything. So now our http package is successfully removed. Okay, so this is how you configure and deconfigure your httpd service. And now if we just reload this, so now you can see that our web server is not running because we have uninstalled the HTTP package, and also we have deconfigured our Apache Web Server. Okay, so our website will be down. Like this. Okay. Just go to the instances. Let me tell you more about Linux. So the first thing is how you manage the package on it. So you just have to write the command like this. Yum install and then package name. Okay, there are many number of packages, and if you want to install it directly, you can just specify here -y. The second thing is that how you start the service. To start the service, we used systemctl command, and we can just provide here start or stop, or we can just do this restart. Okay, and also we can disable it. Okay, why we want to enable it? Because as we start the service, it is not configured to restart as we shut down the system. Okay, if we reboot the system, the service will automatically will be disabled. Okay, so if we want to restart it while rebooting, you just have to enable it. Okay, and then here service name. Okay, and the third command was firewall cmd, and here we have specified the flag permanent. Okay, to save the changes permanently, and then we have to just do this add service. Okay, and here we have to write the service name. Okay, similarly, if you want to add the port in firewall, we just have to write the add port command here, and then our port number, and then slash our protocol. Okay. And after you add the service and port, we just have to reload the firewall. Okay, to list the contents of our firewall, we'll just do this firewall cmd -- list all. Okay, so these are the steps, the important steps. Also, you want editor, file editor in Linux. Okay, so there are two editors basically. So first is vi, or you can say it vim also. Vim is the modified version of vi. The second editor is basically gedit or anything. That is a GUI editor. Also, there is a nano editor. So vi or nano, these both are the terminal editors. Means they are only CLI based. Gedit is a GUI based editor. So if you want, we can have installed it here. Next thing, some small commands. Basic commands in Linux. So the first command is our sudo -i, which is used to switch between local users and root user. The second command we have used is here pwd. Pwd is used to show the present working directory or our current working directory. The third command you can see is here is ls. ls is used to list the content of our directory. Okay, fourth command is mkdir. Mkdir is used to make directory. Mkdir is the command which you can also use in Windows system also. Okay. So fifth command is like this. vi, which is an editor. Okay. Also, we can do copy and move here also. Copy / move. Okay. You know difference about the copy and move command. It's like cut and paste, and also and copy will be the copy of a file. Okay, it will available in both the destination and the source field also. Okay. So we just reconnect it about. You have to reconnect it with putty. Okay, so the first command is sudo -i. Okay, what we are doing is we'll just make a directory in slash. Okay, so for making the directory in slash, we'll just see what inside the slash is. So here are some directories. I'm going to make a directory called Linux here. Okay, so to make a directory, we'll use mkdir command, and we have to make this directory in slash. So we'll just do this slash Linux and then enter. And again, to see that if the folder is ready or not, we'll do this ls slash. And you can see that here a Linux named folder is created. Okay, so what we are doing is we'll create another folder inside the Linux folder. Inside Linux, we'll create some directories like this: OS, okay, here mkdir, OS, and then kernel. Okay. So if we list slash Linux here like this, we'll see that kernel and OS in folder is also. Okay. So there is a command known as tree. We can use it to make it look like this. Okay, so tree is not installed. So if to install the tree, we'll do this. Yum install tree file. Okay, so we'll run command again. So it will show like this in a tree structured format. If you want, we can also show it with ls command using this option like this. Okay, but we'll be using the tree because it gives us a more systematic way to know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll make hundreds of directories inside slash Linux slash kernel. Okay, so if you want to make a directory, we can just do this mkdir slash Linux slash kernel then slash dir1. Okay, then if you want to make a directory again, we have to do this. And what if we have to make the directory 1,000 times or 100 times? Okay, so to make a directory inside the kernel, we'll do this. We can give the range from 1 to 100. Okay, so we'll enter. So it is saying cannot create directory for 1 and 2, but if you list here, okay, you can see that here are hundreds of directories are made in a single command. Okay, so if you want to remove these directories, we just have to do this rm-rf slash Linux and then kernel. Okay, and then we'll just have to do star and then enter. Okay, again I'm going to write this ls slash Linux slash kernel to check that if the directories are deleted or not. So enter. So as you can see that here are no directories that we have made. Okay. So what is will be our next command? Okay. So what we are doing is we'll make slash test1 directory. Okay. And slash test2 directory. Okay. So these both directories are made under the slash directory only. And what we'll do is make some directories here, or we'll make some files here. File1.txt, then file2.txt inside the test1 folder. Okay, and what we'll do is our first step will be to copy file1.txt to slash test2. Okay, file1.txt, basically it is test1. And our next step is to move test1 slash file1.txt to slash test2. Okay. After doing this step, our folder will be like this. In test1, there will be just one file, file txt1, and in test2, there will be two files, file txt1 and file2.txt. Okay. So first of all, we have to make the directory. We will just do mkdir test1 and then also make mkdir slash test2. Okay, we'll just list it ls slash. Okay, so here are test2 and here is test1. So what we have to do is make two files in test1. So to make a file, we just need touch command in slash test1. I'm going to create a file1.txt and then enter. Similarly, in test1 file2.txt. If you want, we can just do this tree test1. And in test1, there are two files. And if you list out the test2 folder, there are no files. Okay, so what we'll do is just our first step is to copy. So to copy test1, so test1's file to test2, we'll write this command cp, and the next thing is the source destination. So the cp syntax is like this: cp is the command, the source is what file you have to copy, and the destination is where to copy. Okay, so we'll just do this. Cp, our source is test1 slash file1.txt, and where we have to copy it in test2. Okay, now we'll just do this tree test2. So here is one file. Okay, now again, second thing is we have to move the file. To move the file, the syntax is also the same as cp. Okay, source and destination. So to move a file, we'll just do this mv test1 file2.txt, and we'll move it to test2. Okay, then enter. I'll just do tree for both test1 space slash test2. So in test1 there is only one file remaining, and in test2 there are two files. Okay, so this is also our output. Okay. Also in Linux there are many commands that are very important. Okay, so network based command, the first command is ipas. Second command is ifconfig. Okay, and if you're using a Windows machine, for Windows there is ipconfig. Okay, so these commands, what it does is they show the IP address which are configured on our adapter. Okay, so IPS or ipconfig is the Linux command. If you are using the Windows machine, then you can use ipconfig. Okay, so we'll just say we'll be doing IPAS. IPAS shows this result. So the first adapter is loopback adapter, your localhost adapter. Okay, and the second one is your main IP adapter. Okay, so this is your private IP. Basically, if you see these numbers, it is same as like this here: 172.3.1.4.6.1.4.1. Same this here. Okay, similarly, if you just run this ifconfig command, there will be it will say command not found. Okay, so we'll just install it. We'll start cmd. And this is our Windows machine, and we'll just go do this IP config. Okay, so the list which is showing here, it is basically your adapter name. Okay, and your IPv4 IP address. IP address is also divided in IP is also divided into two parts, which is IP two versions, IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is 32-bit address and IPv6 is a 128-bit address. Okay, basically this 32-bit and 128-bit this addresses are just divided into 8 or 16 parts. Okay. 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 So next thing is we'll just know how to connect MySQL in Windows. Okay, we'll just make the MySQL service running the RDS from AWS instance. So just go to the service and search for RDS. Okay, we'll be going to create a database here. As you know, MySQL is a database software. So we'll just choose here easy create and go to the MySQL. Select here free time. And also this is our username and we have to just give password here. So I'll be giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, next we have to make it public access. Okay, and then create database. Database is creating. Okay, as soon as the database will be created, we'll get here an endpoint through which we can connect it with our instances, with our instance or with our local Windows machine. Okay, we'll do both of it. Let it be created. Okay, so the database is created. You can see endpoint here. So we'll be connecting with this endpoint. Okay, but first of all, we have to set the security groups. Go to security group, go to the inbound rules, edit inbound rules, and you have to set it with like this: MySQL, TCP, this port number 3306, and for this group. Okay, so we'll just delete it and set it another one. So you have to add rule custom TCP. Go to MySQL Aurora TCP 3600 and then set this 0. Save rules. Okay, so we'll just go back to our database. Okay, we have to copy this endpoint and go to our AWS instance. We have to reconnect it with 40. So let me go to okay, or we'll just go just right here MySQL -h to specify the host or the endpoint that we have copied. Copy the paste the endpoint here, and then we'll just use -u, our username, admin, -p, our password. Okay, so the password is one. Enter. So we are now connected to our AWS MySQL service. Okay, so as you can see, if you want to show the databases here, we can do like this, show databases. Here are some schemas already created, information schema, MySQL, performance schema. Okay. So if you want to connect with the MySQL in your AWS instance, Linux instance, so you have to install MySQL first, and then you have to write the command like this one. Okay. So there are several ways. If you want, basically, we can also create a database here. Create database. Create database like this, jungle. So we can also do this, show databases. So here you can see our newly created databases here. Okay. So if you want, we can use it, use jungle. Okay. So it is saying the output like database is changed. So if you want to see the database of which database you are in, so we can just do this. To see the version of our MySQL, you can also use the version function here. You can also make it like this. Okay, so now we are in the database jungle. So if you want to create a table, you can just write a query here, create table, specifying here table name like this. Okay, ID and then integer name. You can specify here varchar. Okay, so to list out the tables, we can use show tables command. So here you can see the table. Also, to describe the structure of a table, you can use table one. Sorry, circus. So here is our column name ID and the second column name, and its type is integer, and it has null values yes, no keys and defaults. Okay, same goes for varchar. If you want to insert some data, we can just use this insert into circus. We'll specify some values here. So the first value is ID 1, and the second value could be any name like this. Okay, so we can also do this ID 2. Second name could be thing like this. Okay, so to save the changes, we'll just go to commit. And if you want to list out this content from your database, you can from your table, you can use select star from your table. Okay, here select is a statement and star represents all columns that we have to list out all the columns. And the from is the keyword and circus is your table name. Okay, so this table is basically inside your jungle named database. Okay. So this is how you connect your MySQL from your Windows. Okay. If you want to exit, you can do this like. And make sure when you exit from your instance or any service, just make sure to delete it. Okay. Just go and delete. No final snapshot, nothing. I acknowledge. And then just type delete me here. Okay. Then delete. So it is going to delete. So the next thing, we'll just end our instance here. Just go to instance and terminate. So now our database is going to delete and instances are already terminated. Okay, so the database is disconnected. Again, if you want, you can create the MySQL database there and also connect like this. So my database is already disconnected. So let me again just do this. Let's see if we can connect it again. Okay, so you can see here that it is getting as a message. Can't connect to MySQL server on database this. This is the endpoint name on 3306. So 3306 is a default port of MySQL and MariaDB. Okay, so now we can't connect with it. If you want, you can connect with your own MySQL like this. Okay, so this is not the MySQL which we have created on our AWS platform. This is our own local MySQL system. You can see here if you so here are functions. Okay, so here is no database like Jungle, or there are no tables like Circus or anything. Okay, because this is my local machines MySQL. Okay, so that's all for today's session. All topics are covered.
Okay, participants. So since question answer session has been completed, we are going to close for today. And please submit the feedback. Feedback link is already available on official WhatsApp group. Thank you.